Hey panning family, I am finally filming my second update for the year for my 2018 eyeshadow projects, and I've already tried filming this once earlier this week, but my camera cut out on me, and so I may as well just do the entire thing over again. So if you are new to my channel, my name is Christine and I film mostly panning videos, although this year I've been not really filming at all. And for my 2018 eyeshadow projects, I have two of them. One is called Cream Shadow Crush, and that is where I am working through as many of my cream shadows in my collection as possible, trying to finish them up. And the second project that I'm doing is called Mission Pan Possible, which is focusing on my powder eyeshadows, and I'm trying to hit pan on as many shadows as I can, not finishing anything up, and just kind of see where I get at the end of the year. And I don't know if I said this yet, but I just gave myself so much work to do that this is the reason why I've been procrastinating on my updates, because I really just wanted to show you differences in my palettes, in my eyeshadows. And I know I work through makeup so slowly, which I'm realizing more and more as I'm panning these things. And so I just figured that monthly updates really weren't going to be helpful, inspiring, motivating for either my viewers or myself. I thought I would just get discouraged. So here we are 5 months later from my first update. So let's go ahead and just get started, and I'll show you everything that I've accomplished so far. Starting with my cream stick shadows, I just wanted to mention I have a little chart that I've been documenting my progress, and if there is something that I mentioned in either last update or the introduction that I'm not showing right now, it's because I really haven't used it or made any progress on it whatsoever. So I just really wanted to focus on showing the changes in my products. So first I have two cream shadow sticks to show you from Urban Decay. These are the 24/7 Glide On eyeshadow pencils. The first one that I'm going to show you is Juju. It's a beautiful taupe color, and I have used probably about a ½ inch from the beginning of the year, which is fantastic. This one, however, is starting to dry out on me, and it's really just, I don't know, I have to press really hard on my lid in order to get the color to even show up. So that's too bad, but I don't know how much longer I'll be able to use this because it's drying out, but I'm going to try to squeeze out as much of it as I possibly can before the end of the year. The second eyeshadow that I have is in the color Sin. It is a beautiful champagne color. I'm sure you're all familiar with what this looks like. And I actually sharpened this earlier this week, and the color portion fell out of the pencil, and so I had to stuff it back in, so I'm not sure how well it will stay for the rest of the year when I need to sharpen it, but I've actually used this one up quite a bit more actually than the Juju. I want to say I've used probably like 1 inch or close to 1.5 inches on that one, and I use this one almost every day actually as an eyeshadow base. I layer it over my primer and then I pack on colors on top of it. I found that because I'm working with mostly older shadows this year, they've lost a ton of pigment, so putting a base like this underneath really brings out that color again. So I've really been enjoying that one. The last one I have is a Tarte Smolder Eyes in the color Rose Gold, and I really haven't been using this that much throughout the entire year until now because it's fall. It's a gorgeous rose gold color, as you can see, hence the name Rose Gold, right? So we're over here on this side, and I haven't used very much, probably like 1/4 inch, 1/3 inch right there, but I'm still really happy with the progress I've made, and this will definitely be getting more use in the fall time. Moving on to my ColourPop Super Shock shadows, I have a couple that you probably aren't going to tell that there's much of a change in them, but I have been using them. This one I used more in the spring. The summer I actually didn't use it as much as I thought I was going to. It's a beautiful gold color, and I love typically wearing these kinds of colors in the summer, but this is in the shade Get Lucky. There is a dip in there that you can see, maybe, yes. So no pan on this one. This is really tightly packed in there, and even though I use it quite a bit, there still doesn't seem to be much change in that one. The second shade that I've been using that you still cannot see pan on is in the color Sunbeam. It is from the limited edition My Little Pony collection. Gorgeous, gorgeous purple color here. That's shimmery. You can kind of see the green shift in there, but there's a ton of glitter in there too, and I just love glitter as long as it stays where it's supposed to on my eyes. So I'm thinking, you know what, I may hit pan on this by the end of the year. I'm not sure, just because with the weather changing, I tend to lean more toward warmer tones, oranges, reds, that sort of thing. So I'm not sure if I'm going to make much progress on those for the rest of the year. The next shade that I've been working on is Birthday Boy. Now, I didn't usually gravitate toward this shade during the summer because it is a taupe color. There was pan on it in my last update, but I have been expanding it. I've probably used it a handful of times beyond that. So this one is actually really soft. I hit pan super easily on this, and I definitely won't finish this up by the end of the year, but I think now that the weather's cooling down, I will get more use out of this one. And the last one that I've been using the most, and I use it almost every day in my crease as a transition shade, it is a matte color called Strength. This was in the Coffee Break with Danny quad that she was selling a while ago. And there's still pan in there. You can see that, I mean, barely. And I've, you know, kind of worked away the design except around the perimeter. And I don't know how much is left in here, but I feel like this is a very, very good value because I've been using it, like I said, almost every day in my crease, and I still have a ton of product left. So I'm pretty sure this one will still be hanging around by the end of the year also, but I'm very proud of the progress that I've made so far. Wrapping up Cream Shadow Crush for this update, I haven't used any of my cream shadows up at all for this year, but I'm pretty sure that I will be finishing this one by the end of the year, and I am pretty sure I'll be very close to finishing this one by the end of the year. So that would be 2 down for my goal for the end of the year. We'll see how that goes. Originally, when I was talking about my updates back in May, I said, hopefully, you know, I won't be updating you months from now, but here it is 5 months later. So I really have no choice but to update you guys again at the finale at the end of the year. So we'll see where these ones are at that point. Moving on to my Mission Pan Possible portion of the video, I did want to make a special mention of my Kat Von D Memento Mori palette. I know I had said at the beginning of the video that if I'm not going to show something that I'd mentioned in previous updates, that it's because I haven't made any progress on it, but I just did want to explain myself with this one because I did have the intention on working on this in the spring and summer, but I just wasn't feeling it. I was so focused on all of the other colors and shadows that I had to work with that this one just wasn't a priority for me. I've only used this one twice for the entire year, so there's absolutely no progress on it. Still looks brand new. Let's see. It's a gorgeous palette. It truly is, but it has just fallen by the wayside. So this one has unintentionally made its way out of the project. The first palette that I'm going to show you that actually has progress is my Naked Basics palette. Now, if you remember from my last update, I had pan already in Foxy and in Walk of Shame, and I added 2 new pans. I added Venus, and then also Naked 2. Naked 2 I'm using as a transition shade when I am creating cool tone looks, and Venus I've just been using as a brow bone highlight right underneath my eyebrow. It is kind of satiny and shimmery, so I think it's too much to use over the entire brow bone. I think it's a pretty color as it is. I'm gonna probably work, even though I have hit pan on this, I think I'm gonna continue working on this as an under the brow highlight, just because it really is a pretty color and the pan isn't that big, so I'll go ahead and keep working on that. And the Naked 2 is kind of weird because you can see that there's 2 separate pans in there as opposed to a big crater like there are in these shades. So I'm going to keep working on Naked 2 until it satisfies me as far as the size of the pan. So I will go ahead and turn you around right now so you can see the dips in these shades. Moving on to my Kat Von D Beethoven palette. If you remember from my last update, I had absolutely no pans showing in this, but now I have 3 new pans showing. Downtown is the one that I was using so much and really frustrated that I hadn't hit pan on it, but literally the next time I used it after that update in May, I hit pan on it. So I actually have stopped using it since then. Maybe I've only used it a handful of times, but I feel like the pan on that is big enough where I should just move on to other shades. I also hit pan on Baroque, which is this gorgeous, it kind of reminds me of Smog a little bit, but it's a little bit deeper in tone, a little bit more red, and I've been using that mostly in my crease. Even though it is a shimmery color, I think it still looks really beautiful if you just define your crease with that. And then the last shade I hit pan on is Dime Bag, which I would use all over the lid. So I have some nice pan going on in there, and so I will go ahead and show you what those dips look like as well. The third palette that I've been working on this year is my Kat Von D Spellbinding eyeshadow book. As you can see, there kind of is a theme going on with Kat Von D this year, but I've had these palettes for a very long time and they've got very little use. So I decided 2018 was the year to go ahead and work on them. Now this kind of has an annoying plastic flap, but this is what this palette looks like. I've only hit pan on 2 shades, and they were the 2 matte ones called Countess and Geek. This one is Countess right here, and Geek is up here. I haven't hit pan on any other shades in here, but you can tell that I do have some dips going on. I will go ahead and show you what these dips look like as well. But just to talk about these colors a little bit, right now I'm actually really loving these 2 shades. Okay, you can't really see what I'm doing. But right now I'm really loving these 2 shades here. This all over the lid, this on the outer half, and then this in the crease, which is a really beautiful fall inspired look. I've also been using quite a bit of this one, which looks like Urban Decay Sin, and I've been using that with this one, which is like Urban Decay Smog. These shades right here are really kind of flaky and hard to work with, and that probably is a testament to how old these shades are, but this one still blends beautifully. And you know, I haven't really dipped into too many other of the shades. I mean, lots of them still look brand new, but like I said, with so much work that I gave myself to do with all of these eyeshadows, it would be basically impossible to, in my opinion, at least with how I use eyeshadow, to hit pan on all of these shades for the year. And let's see, but hoping that I'll be able to hit pan on this shade by the end of the year, this shade also, and maybe these purples. I'm not sure. That's kind of pushing it. I think that'll be pushing my limits, especially since I have all these cream shades to work on too. But I will continue to work on Geek a little bit more. Even though I did hit pan, I'm not quite satisfied with the size of it yet. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to use to replace it once I do, you know, expand it to my satisfaction. So anyway, that is where I am with this one, and I'll go ahead and turn you around right now just so I can show you what it looks like. The next 2 shadows that have pan on them are from my singles. The first one is from Mary Kay, and it is in the color Granite. I've been layering it over Juju, which is the first cream shadow that I showed today, and this is just a gorgeous, gorgeous taupe color. The combination is amazing. It's beautiful. I typically don't gravitate toward cool tone colors, but this one is dynamite, truly. So that is one of my singles that has pan in it, and the other one is an Urban Decay shadow in the old packaging in the color Chopper, and this one is a beautiful bronzy tone with glitter in it, which is really annoying because it falls all over your face, but it is still really beautiful. And I've actually been layering this one over the Tarte Rose Gold, which is also a gorgeous combination. So I've been really enjoying that, especially for the fall. The last palette that I have to share with you shows no pan whatsoever, but I needed to replace the highlight shades that were in my Naked Basics palette was something else. Since I already hit pan on those, I needed some other shades to work on. So I pulled in my Too Faced Enchanted Glamourland palette. Oh, this thing is so beautiful. But I've been working on this shade called In the Buff, and then also this exclusive pink shade. So I've been kind of mixing these as a brow bone highlight. And I've also been using this one called Peach Fuzz, which has some micro glitter in it that I've been using also as a brow bone highlight. And you can use it all over the lid as well. I think I'll probably do that a little bit later in the year. So I will also go ahead and turn you around and show you what those dips look like. That is going to wrap up my second update for my Cream Shadow Crush and Mission Pan Possible. So far, I have hit pan on 11 shades, which I think is pretty awesome, especially seeing how I just move at a glacial pace when it comes to using up eyeshadow, so I'm actually really impressed with that. It's definitely going a lot slower than I had anticipated because I know the Kat Von D eyeshadows are super powdery. I thought I'd hit pan on them really quickly. That hasn't been the case, but I've still been really enjoying these palettes and the project overall. The variety that I've given myself is a lot of fun. I'm not tired of it. I'm not bored. Next year, I'm thinking about mixing it up a little bit more, but right now I still have 2.5 months to work on these, so we'll see how many I can knock out by the end of the year. Thanks so much for joining me, everyone, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.